Hello everyone, this is JC De Guzman for our daily top 5 gainers and top 5 losers analysis for September 10, 2019 in preparation for the next trading day on Wednesday. 3 reminders as always. This video is for short-term trading purposes only. Number 2, before you do a test buy, make sure that you calculate your reward to risk ratio first. If you are satisfied with your triple R, that's the logical time that you should do a test buy within the dominant range. Of course, provided if the 10 MACD combo is valid, ideally speaking, and of course, if the momentum power indicator is bullish. And lastly, before you trade or if any of these 10 stocks happen to start at a price lower or higher than the dominant range that you're about to see, and if you are going to trade that particular stock, make sure that you post a request for that stock's latest TMS and TVD charts in our private clients forum. And if you attended the Evergreen Strategy in Trading and Investing in the Philippine Stock Market seminar, it's better if you will regularly review the handouts that I have shared with you. Okay? Let's begin with my proprietary way of doing technical analysis so that I can give you my recommendation and of course my overall sentiment for each of these 10 stocks. Beginning with VUL. It closed today at 1.30. It failed to sustain its ascent above the resistance at 1.44. It did break out above that level within the day, but it failed to maintain its position above that level. So therefore, 1.44 remains as its immediate resistance, with the support level at 1.03 or 1 peso per share. Despite this red candlestick, there is still a valid 10 MACD combo, but because of this red candlestick, it's already a bearish momentum power indicator. Foreign investors registered a net foreign selling worth 651,000 pesos. A very insignificant amount relative to the foreign investors' participation among other stocks, especially index companies. RSI is in the neutral territory. Risk level remains low. The upward momentum remains high, courtesy of that exaggerated ascent in price this morning. So, with respect to the closing price of 1.30, which is closer to the intraday low than the intraday high, the dominant range is between 1.35 all the way to 1.45. Now you might think that because this dominant range is closer to the intraday low than the intraday high, that's why the momentum power indicator is bearish. You get it wrong. Why? Because today's intraday low is higher than yesterday's closing price. Whether the dominant range will park itself closer to the intraday low than the intraday high or the otherwise, it will still be a bullish trade and volume distribution. What makes the momentum power indicator bearish is the first criterion. What is that? Reminder, in our flowchart during the seminar, I told you that you have to check the color of the prevailing candlestick, of the recent candlestick. Is it green? If it's a green one, then proceed to the next question or criterion. But in this case, it's a red one, meaning to say it's already a bearish momentum power indicator. Besides, the last price of 1.30 is lower than the VWAP of 1.44. It should be the other way around. The last price should be higher than the VWAP. And what else? The dominant range should be higher. So in other words, 2 of 4 criteria to make the momentum power indicator bullish are bearish. 2 of the criteria, 2 out of 4 are bearish. And that automatically makes the momentum power indicator bearish because all 4 must be bullish, not just 3, all 4. Enough of that. So now, for the true market sentiment, it's also neutral. So there was no evident signs. There was no data-driven signs of a sustainable ascent in price not necessarily ascent, but in terms of excitement to push the price higher and maintain it that way above the resistance at 1.44. I did not see any data-driven footprint or whatsoever today as far as the sustainability of VUL above 1.44 is concerned. I'm not saying it will not revisit the price higher than 1.44 on Wednesday, but if it will, then there's still a bigger possibility for it, to just erratically move up and down, just like what we witnessed in today's trading. So overall, my overall sentiment for VUL is that if you still have VUL because your trailing stop loss has not been hit yet, it's best for you to just hold your position for now and maintain your eyes, monitor your trailing stop loss. Okay, monitor your trailing stop loss. If your trailing stop loss got hit this morning or this afternoon, you should have at least realized your gains, especially if you are using the conditional stop loss on First Metrosec Pro. Okay, so a reminder regarding that, if you are a 1-year subscriber at Equilist Analytics, or if you attended the Evergreen seminar, you will get 2 months of free access to First Metrosec Pro. Check your My Account tab when you log in. There are instructions. There's a link written inside or on your My Account tab regarding what you should do for you to redeem your 2 months of free access. All right, it's right there on your My Account tab. There's a link there at the bottom. So there you go for VUL. So I am not perfectly bullish anymore on VUL. So my sentiment will be relative to the position of the prevailing price to our trailing stop loss, to each and every one of us. So after VUL, we move to FNI. It closed today at 1.7. It broke above the resistance at 1.67, which is now the acting immediate support. Resistance is now at 1.86. We can also adjust this one all the way up here at 1.9. Okay, 1.9. The 10 MACD combo remains valid. Foreign investors registered a net foreign buying worth 25 million pesos. RSI is in the neutral territory. It's upward sloping. Risk level is already extremely high. Newbie traders, this is not a newbie-friendly stock as far as its historical volatility or risk level is concerned. The DMI shows that the upward momentum is still technically strong. With respect to the closing price of 1.7, the dominant range is between 1.7 to 1.74. Please be reminded that the last price is already below the VWAP, and that means the momentum power indicator is not bullish anymore. The true market sentiment is neutral, meaning to say your 10 SMACD combo is valid, but your momentum power indicator is bearish. So if you have FNI simply because your TSL has not been hit yet, it's better for you to just hold your position but don't buy the dips yet until the momentum power indicator becomes bullish. And if you don't have FNI, just entertain the idea of doing a test buy once the momentum power indicator becomes bullish. That's why you have to be active in posting a request in our private clients forum for your stock's latest trade and volume distribution and true market sentiment charts. All right, is that clear for FNI? Let's move on to the other mining company, NIKL. It closed today at 4.35. Support is at 3.87. Resistance is at 4.9. I like the perfect bullish alignment of the three simple moving averages. I mentioned that in the previous videos as well. But for today, foreign investors have continued to lay low in terms of registering net foreign buying, unlike last week, because today they just registered the net foreign selling worth 5.16 million pesos. That's so insignificant compared to their towering towering net foreign buying days last week. Okay. RSI is in the neutral territory, not neutral, but above the neutral, close to the classical overbought level. So, eyes on your trailing stop loss. You know the drill. Risk level, like FNI, it's already an extremely high risk stock. Newbie traders, FYI, this has an extremely high risk level. For newbie traders, I suggest that you stick with low to moderate risk stocks. Meaning to say those are the stocks that have a historical volatility score that's not higher, I repeat, that's not higher than 70%. There are two types of volatilities, implied and historical. I'm using historical volatility, HV. So technically speaking, based on DMI, the upward momentum is still strong. But let's see on the trade and volume distribution. So last price is at 4.35, but VWAP is at 4.4. Ahem. That already makes the momentum power indicator bearish. Remember, the last price should be higher than the VWAP for us to say that the momentum power indicator is bullish. Nonetheless, the dominant range is between 4.35 to 4.45. Yes, that's closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. Okay, so it's a bearish momentum power indicator, and the true market sentiments agrees to that as well. My overall sentiment here is I'm not completely bullish on nickel, so I'll just base my recommendation on these two scenarios. Number one, if you have nickel simply because your TSL has not been hit yet, hold your position, don't top up yet until the momentum power indicator becomes bullish. And if you don't have nickel, don't buy it yet until the momentum power indicator becomes bullish. Simple as that. Yeah? Next, green. Did it close in green today? Yes, it did. It closed at 2.31. It managed to break above the previous resistance at 2.25, which is now acting as its immediate support. The resistance is now at 2.9. So if you're going to calculate your reward to risk ratio right now, that automatically gives you an attractive potential reward than your potential risk. Foreign investors registered a net foreign buying worth 11.4 million pesos. The 10 SMACD combo has been valid not just today but since August 28th or August 29th. RSI is in the neutral territory. Historical volatility or the risk level remains low, and the upward momentum is already technically high based on the DMI and ATX scores. With respect to the closing price of 2.31, yay, it's higher than the VWAP of 2.26 or 2.27. So how about the dominant range? It's between 2.29 to 2.31. That's closer to the intraday high than the intraday low, and that's a bullish momentum power indicator. The true market sentiment is neutral. That's the mood of the top 10 brokers for today. Overall, I am bullish on green. What reasons? The 10 SMACD combo is valid. The true market, the momentum power indicator is bullish. So you have data-driven reasons to top up and to enter a new position on green. Just do it within the dominant range, not at any random price. All right. KPPI is the next one. It closed today at 11.4. Support remains at 9.8. And resistance is at 12.32. How did I get those numbers? I have plotted an up Fibonacci. And those numbers that I have mentioned are the 23.6% retracements and the 38.2% retracements, respectively, of the up Fibonacci. Foreign investors registered a net foreign selling worth 11,000 pesos. Okay. So here, we're not going to mention the other oscillators until the 30th trading day of a KPPI. Now, the last price is 11.4. VWAP is at 11 pesos per share. The dominant range with respect to the closing price of 11.4 is between 11.4, or let's say 11.3 to 11.5. So that's a bullish momentum power indicator. On the other hand, the true market sentiment is bearish for today on for KPPI. But since the momentum power indicator is bullish, if you would like to do a test buy, don't be too quick to push to continue what I'm about to say, because you have to calculate your reward to risk ratio first. Even though the MPI is bullish, or the momentum power indicator is bullish, you have to be satisfied with your triple R first, reward to risk ratio. If not, you are better off waiting for a pullback or for a breakout above 12.30. Okay? So the decision is yours. The analysis and the interpretation and data gathering are mine. The decision is yours. Okay? So after KPPI, we move on to the first top loser for the day, Mega World. It closed today at 5.03. It already broke below the previous support at 5.05, which is now acting as its immediate immediate resistance. Support is at where's this one? 4.66 in confluence with a 23.6% retracement of the Fibonacci. Here's my swing low. Here's my swing high. Foreign investors registered a net foreign selling worth 27.3 million pesos. The 10 SMACD combo is no longer valid. RSI is in the neutral territory, but it's already moving closer to the classical oversold level. Risk level is still low for Mega World, but having a low risk level is not a buy signal. Remember that. Don't buy any single stock that has a low risk level. The downward momentum is still very strong. Let me say that again. The downward momentum is still very strong. The last price is 5.03. VWAP is at 5.06. That already makes the momentum power indicator bearish. The dominant range is between 5.03 to 5.10. That's closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. The true market sentiment is also bearish, so my overall sentiment here is bearish for Mega World. I hope none of you disrespected the process by entering a new position, even though there has been no buy signal for since when? Since July. Since the second to third week of July, there has been no buy signal for Mega World. Okay, so don't enter a new position yet. And if you happen to enter a new position on Mega World, no buy signal because of these red candlesticks here. So don't enter a new position yet until your momentum power indicator becomes bullish, and ideally, preferably, when your 10 SMACD combo becomes valid. Next, Now Corporation. It closed today at 3.38. Support is at 2.88. Resistance is at 4.25. The 10 SMACD combo maintains its valid status. Foreign investors registered a net foreign buying worth 441,000 pesos only. Very small amount, relatively speaking. RSI is in the neutral territory, but it's already downward sloping. Risk level is extremely high. This is not for you newbie traders. Alright, this is not for you. The last price is 3.38. VWAP is at 3.45. That already makes the momentum power indicator bearish, but for what it's worth, let me mention the dominant range. It's between 3.38 to 3.5, closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. The true market sentiment is bullish. I don't know with the top 10 brokers what buyable thing did they see today on Now Corporation, but as far as our mechanics or methods are concerned, I am not going to buy until I see a bullish momentum power indicator and until I am happy or satisfied with my reward to risk ratio. Okay, so I'm still bearish on Now Corporation even though the 10 SMACD combo is valid, my momentum power indicator is bearish. So my buy signals are not complete. And when they're not complete, I have to stick with the process. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense coming up with these processes only to violate them. Yes? Okay, next, LTG. It closed today at 14.4. 14.4. Let me plot some another line right here. All right. It closed today at 14.4. It broke below the resistance at 14.7, or the previous support at 14.7, which is now acting as its immediate resistance. The immediate support is at 12.82. The 10 SMACD combo is already invalid. Foreign investors registered, nah, let's not mention that. It's very an insignificant amount. And notice this, it's already a perfect bearish alignment for its three simple moving averages. RSI is the neutral territory, but it has been downward sloping already. Risk level is still low. See? Not because it has a low risk level, it doesn't mean you should buy it right away. It's downward sloping. Alright? So, the last price is at 14.4, VWAP is at 14.62. That's already a bearish momentum power indicator. The dominant range is closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. See here, it's between 14.4 to 14.48. Bearish momentum power indicator, like what I've said. The true market sentiment is bullish. We're not going to follow their lead. They are deep-pocketed investors. Most of us retail traders have limited bullets in our pockets. So let's be more controlled, be more process-oriented. Okay? So that we can minimize the potential risk and maximize the potential gain. Stick with the process. Alright? So no buy signals yet for LTG. Wait for the 10 SMACD combo to become valid again, for the last price to move up higher than the 10 SMA, and for the momentum power indicator to become bullish again. Take note that our momentum power indicator has four criteria. They are somewhere in the forum. Just use the search feature on our forum right here. There you go. Search button. Click that. Alright? So after, where are we? We are discussing LTG. I am bearish on LTG. We move on now to Tech. Tech closed today at 11.38. The 10 SMACD combo is still valid, but it's one more red candlestick. As soon as it drops below what? As soon as it drops below 10.96, goodbye bullish, or goodbye valid 10 SMACD indicator then. But for now, the 10 SMACD combo is still valid. Support is at 9.86. Resistance is at 15.85. RSI is the neutral territory, but it's again downward sloping. Risk level is already high. Newbies, this is not for you also. Okay? Even though the positive DMI is hovering the negative DMI, and even though the ADX above 25 points, I am not going to say that this is a confirmed strong upward momentum. No, this is not. This is not a confirmed strong upward momentum yet. It has so many resistance levels that need to be broken for us to say that the upward momentum is already very strong. For one, the three SMAs are still in a perfect bearish alignment. Okay, that's for Tech, and the dominant range is closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. It's between 11.3 to 11.4. It's a bearish momentum power indicator. The true market sentiment is neutral. With that, I have an anemic sentiment for Tech, meaning I'm still bearish on Tech. Snub it. Well, I will snub it. Okay, if you're going to stick with the process, your guess is as good as mine. You should also be snubbing Tech for now, at least while the momentum power indicator is bearish. Alright, so we're done with Tech. Last in today's video, we got IRC. It closed today at 1.45. Support is at 1.38. Resistance is at 1.6. The 10 MACD combo maintains its valid status. Foreign investors registered a not worthy to mention, so let's skip that. RSI is the neutral territory, but it's because of the red candlestick, it's downward sloping. Risk level is what? It's already high. This is not a newbie friendly stock also. Newbies, this is not for you. IRC, okay, it's already a bearish momentum power indicator because the last price is lower than the VWAP. Should be the other way around. And besides, the dominant range is closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. Should be the otherwise as well. If we are wishing for a bullish momentum power indicator, of course. The dominant range is between 1.45 to 1.5. Again, it's a bearish momentum power indicator. The true market sentiment is neutral. And what do you expect? My overall sentiment remains bearish for IRC. Wait for the momentum power indicator to become bullish before you calculate your reward to risk ratio so you can decide if it's a logical time for you to do a test buy. Now, if you have IRC, hold your position. Sell once your TSL got hit. But for now, hold your position, don't average down. Don't average down. It's still more likely for the descent in price to continue. And if you don't have IRC, tap yourself on the back. So don't buy it yet. Alright, that's my technical analysis for these 10 stocks tonight. Again, I'd like to invite you this coming September 28th, Saturday, for another evergreen strategy in trading and investing in the Philippine stock market seminar. I'd like to emphasize that this seminar is not only for traders. You can also use everything, all of the concepts that I'm going to teach you, which, by the way, you can find on Google. Okay, you can use all of these things for short-term trading and long-term investing. So September 28th in Makati. Get your ticket. Go to our website and click on seminars. Register as soon as you can. Don't wait for the last minute because by the time if your plan is to check it out on the last week, okay, last minute registration, I'm afraid all seats may have already been taken by then because we can only accommodate 25 to 30 people for this event in Makati. Alright, so my name is JC De Guzman and I wish you, as always, a profitable and a disciplined trading day on Wednesday. Have a good day.